What's going on, everybody? This is Professor Crypto Banana. So in today's video, it's going to be relatively quick. I'm going to drop down a few details that I learned about DEUS Finance, Solidly, and I'm going to talk about the T word at the end of the video. Yeah, taxes. Ooh, on the US side, the deadline to file is April 18th. I'm very scared because I'm a DeFi farmer, so it's like, ooh, that makes it even more confusing. However, I may have found a resource that can really help me out. I'm hoping. I'll share that at the end. But before I get started, gotta let you know, hey, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything in this video is not financial advice. It's just for entertainment and educational purposes only. Keep in mind that crypto is risky, so please, please, please always do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Okay, so man, there's just so much interesting stuff that I want to research on crypto, specifically in DeFi, of course, right? But it's a little bit dissuading. I think that's the right word, because on the crypto charts, oh my goodness, it's looking rough out there. I feel the pain. However, my mindset is I can't change the chart. See what I'm saying? Like, I can't pump up Bitcoin. I can't make institutions come into Bitcoin and retail investors, etc. So what I can do is not stare at the charts, but rather set myself up in the future and see where it goes, right? And look at the trend. So a lot of times I'll be talking about FNFTs now because that really caught my interest. In addition, I should be spending more time researching, but I love talking about it. So I did host a Twitter space. Man, it went for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you, Frankie, because, man, this dude knows a lot. He was like a co-host, dropping down really good information. So, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. In the future, I'll probably do more Twitter spaces because, like the first time, you just see what happens. I've done a few others in the past, but I got ways on how I want to improve it. So enough about that. Let's talk about DEUS. So the chart, the price doesn't matter to me. I'm not here to say like, okay, here's a good time to buy, sell. None of that. That doesn't matter to me. What I am focused in on is what are they doing, right? Because if everything in the crypto market is tanking and all of a sudden they're pumping out a 4x, a 6x, it's like, baby, what are you doing? I gotta find out. This warrants some more research. So I found this tweet by OxUnified. I'll leave all the links in the description. And it's pretty interesting, the tokenomics that's going on with DEUS. So Lafa, he's the head person for DEUS, and it seems like they put out a message onto the Discord server talking about the tokenomics. It reminds me pretty much of Luna and UST, if you know about that. So if you go into the stablecoin, it burns Luna. That's how I understand it. So it's the same thing here. If you go into the stablecoin of DE, it's going to burn some DEUS. So when there's Luna and UST, DEUS, DE, it's kind of like, okay, isn't this kind of more of the same? Well, here's where it gets a little bit interesting. So DEUS seems to be focused on synthetics. So like synthetic stocks, etc. It's kind of like mirroring what's assets that are out there in the real world, but then having it on a front end, like an exchange. And from what I understand, you can pretty much make a synthetic out of anything. Okay. But Professor, where are you going with this? Well, in order to, actually, I guess, like trade or do certain things, you have to deposit DE, the stablecoin, as a collateral. Meaning, if you want to deposit your money or do anything on this synthetic exchange, you got to put down the stablecoin. Okay, so what's the big deal about putting DE in there? Well, that actually burns some of the DEUS token. And it does it all automatically behind the scenes. It appears to be 80% USDC and 20% burns the DEUS. So it applies some more, I wouldn't say buying pressure, but it definitely burns a lot of the DEUS. And currently, it seems that the emission is 1,500 DEUS per week. There's currently 1,500 DEUS in circulation, and 100,000 more will emit over the next 2 years. So let's see here, over the next 2 years, about 50% of what already exists, or like 100%, will get emitted. So I don't know, very interesting in terms of calculations. I'm sure that there's other people that specialize in that more, but again, it's something very interesting, especially looking at the chart. I also know that DEUS is doing a lot on Solidity, or not Solidity, Solidly, my apologies. So Solidly is the exchange. It was from Andre, and they pretty much just came in and said, okay, we'll help out with this. In fact, they created their own UI because it'll no longer be supported, the original. So it's called solidly.vision. And one thing I did notice is DEUS, I don't know how they did it, but it seems as if they're getting a lot of the votes for the emissions on Solidly. They're number 1 with 22%. And then number 2 is the USDC day pool for 15%. So perhaps they're already 40% on top when it comes to Solidly. That could play a big factor. Again, I need to put in more time to research. In this Medium article by Solidex, you can think of Solidex as the convex equivalent. If that's a little bit over your head, don't worry about it. They put out a great article, and they explain here about Solidly's V33 concept that Andre put out. So the way how I understand it is if you get the Solid token and you lock it up for like 4 years, right? You're chilling. I'm sure there's some rewards and benefits to doing so. But if there are other people in the LP pool that are getting a ton of Solid emissions and a bunch of tokens, you're like, dude, you're getting more than me. This is BS. Like I'm the one that's taking on most amount of risk, like putting it, locking it, and you're just over there like free willy-nilly. Come on now. So I guess the concept here is the more people that lock up the Solid tokens, the less of the Solid tokens get emitted. Meaning, like, hey, a bunch of people, let's say 100% of people lock up their Solid tokens, none gets emitted. That's just it. So I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. So you can see right here, creates an interesting game theory as to people, more people that lock reduces the amount of Solid given to liquidity providers in the given week. Circling back to Solidly, I can see that, assuming that the total votes is the same as the amount of emissions given, that is really interesting as well, because DEUS got the 22%. Likewise, they also have the day stablecoin for 15%. So together, that's about 37%. SolidX right here has got 6%. And I'm sure a few of these other protocols right here are probably trying to lock it, collect it, and get more and more and more. So I'm like, oh, that is interesting. Now I know that Andre, he took a step back. That caused a lot of issues in the community, in the Phantom community, also with Solidly as well. One thing that people are discussing is how, well, Solidly, first off, how do they generate the income and the revenue? It's a decentralized exchange. You come over here and you swap it. A lot of people are saying that's still buggy. So I'm hoping that DEUS Finance can actually improve on this, make it less buggy, and then it has some potential in my eyes. Just my opinion, not financial advice. Wait and see. All right, so finally, let's talk about taxes. Ooh, yeah, I know it's not going to be a pleasant topic, but at the same time, I'm on the Phantom side, and I get scared because I do like a lot of DeFi stuff, etc. I think that makes my taxes way more complicated, specifically on the US side. Now, I'm not a tax advisor. I don't know what's going on in like the country that you're in, etc. However, on Phantom Community Alerts, just a few days ago, brought on Dan Hunnam with Zen Ledger, and apparently they're claiming to make that process a lot easier. Now, I'm not incentivized. I'm not getting like a paid promotion or anything. It's just, if this could help me out, I think it's really interesting. I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper look. Maybe it may help out you guys as well. Again, I don't know what country you're in, so keep that in mind. In conclusion, yeah, the crypto markets, ooh. However, as I've been mentioning in my past videos, I can't control that. But what I can do is do some research, look at potential trends where it may go, and share the little tidbits of information that I'm learning with you guys. Hopefully that helps. I'll see you guys in the next video. Pieces.